Your GMC engine doesn't have to feel sluggish, sound rough, or burn through gas like it's going out of style. Even if you've got 150,000 miles on the odometer, there are specific things you can do right now that will bring back that smooth, powerful feeling you had when the truck was brand new. I'm not talking about expensive overhauls or complicated repairs. I'm talking about straightforward maintenance and adjustments that most GMC owners completely overlook. Things that cost less than $100 but make your engine feel like it just rolled off the assembly line. Today, I'm walking you through 11 proven methods that will transform how your GMC runs. And if you stick around to the end, I'll reveal the one simple trick that costs less than $20 and takes 10 minutes. But it's the difference between an engine that struggles and one that purrs. Here's what most people don't understand. Your GMC engine doesn't just suddenly wear out at 100,000 miles. What actually happens is a gradual buildup of deposits, a slow degradation of fluids, and small inefficiencies that compound over time. The good news? Almost all of this is reversible. You can restore lost power, improve fuel economy, and eliminate that rough idle without spending thousands at a dealership. You just need to know which specific areas to address and in what order. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make your GMC engine run smoother, respond quicker, and last longer. These aren't temporary fixes or band-aids. These are legitimate improvements that address the root causes of poor engine performance. The last method I'm covering is something that mechanics charge $150 for, but you can do it yourself in your driveway for under $10. It's one of the most overlooked maintenance items, yet it has an immediate and noticeable impact on how your engine runs. So let's get started. Here are 11 ways to make your GMC engine run like new. Method 1. The complete fuel system flush. Let's start with something that has an immediate and dramatic impact: cleaning your entire fuel system. Over time, your fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers accumulate deposits. These deposits restrict fuel flow, disrupt the spray pattern, and prevent complete combustion. The result? Rough idle, hesitation during acceleration, reduced power, and worse fuel economy. Your engine is working harder to produce less power. Now, you've probably seen fuel system cleaners at the auto parts store. Most of them are garbage. They're either too weak to do anything meaningful, or they're formulated with ingredients that can actually cause problems. Here's what you need to look for. The active ingredient should be polyethyramine, or PEA. This is the only additive that's proven to actually dissolve carbon deposits without damaging engine components. Brands like Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus and BG44K use PEA as their primary ingredient. Avoid anything that's primarily alcohol-based or kerosene-based. Alcohol can dry out seals and cause fuel system leaks. Kerosene lowers your octane rating and can cause engine knock. Use a quality fuel system cleaner every 5,000 miles. Add it to a nearly empty tank, then fill up with premium fuel. Drive the tank down to empty, giving the cleaner time to work through the entire system. You'll notice the difference within one tank of gas: smoother idle, better throttle response, improved fuel economy. It's one of the easiest ways to restore lost performance. But cleaning the fuel system is only half the equation. There's another system that controls the air coming into your engine, and when it gets dirty, it chokes your engine's performance. Method 2. Throttle body deep clean. Your throttle body is the gateway for air entering your engine. It's a valve that opens and closes based on how far you press the gas pedal. Over time, oil vapors from your PCV system and carbon deposits from exhaust gas recirculation build up on the throttle plate and inside the throttle body bore. This buildup restricts airflow. Your engine can't breathe properly. The result is rough idle, poor throttle response, and that annoying hesitation when you try to accelerate from a stop. Most people have never cleaned their throttle body. It's not in the regular maintenance schedule, and dealerships don't mention it unless you're having specific problems. Here's how to do it properly. You'll need a can of throttle body cleaner, not carburetor cleaner, not brake cleaner, specifically throttle body cleaner. You'll also need a clean microfiber cloth. Locate your throttle body. It's where the large air intake tube connects to the engine. Remove that intake tube, usually just a couple of clamps. You'll see the throttle plate inside the throttle body. Spray the cleaner directly onto the throttle plate and the inside of the throttle body bore. Use the cloth to wipe away the deposits. You'll be amazed at how much black gunk comes off. Keep spraying and wiping until the throttle plate is shiny and the bore is clean. Let everything dry for a few minutes, then reconnect the intake tube. Start the engine. It might idle rough for the first 30 seconds while the computer relearns the proper idle position. but then it'll smooth out. The difference is immediate. Your idle will be rock solid, throttle response will be crisp, and you'll probably pick up a mile or two per gallon in fuel economy. Now, while you've got the intake system apart, there's another component that's probably filthy and costing you power. Method 3. Mass airflow sensor cleaning. Your mass airflow sensor, or MAF sensor, measures exactly how much air is entering your engine. Your engine computer uses this information to calculate the precise amount of fuel to inject. When the MAF sensor is dirty, it gives inaccurate readings. Inaccurate readings mean incorrect fuel delivery. Too much fuel, and you're wasting gas and fouling spark plugs. Too little fuel, and you're losing power and potentially causing engine damage. The MAF sensor sits in your air intake tube, usually between the air filter and the throttle body. It's got a thin wire or film element that measures airflow. Dust and oil from your air filter can coat this element, throwing off its readings. Here's the critical part. You cannot clean a MAF sensor with regular cleaners. You need MAF sensor cleaner specifically. Other cleaners leave residue or can damage the delicate sensing element. Remove the MAF sensor from the intake tube. It's usually held in with 2 screws. Hold the sensor so the element is facing down. Spray the MAF cleaner from about 6 inches away. Use short bursts, not a continuous spray. Let the cleaner drip off the element. Do not touch the sensing element. Do not use compressed air. Do not wipe it with anything. Just spray and let it air dry for at least 10 minutes. Reinstall the sensor and you're done. Your engine computer will now get accurate airflow readings, which means proper fuel delivery, better performance, and improved fuel economy. But even with perfect air and fuel delivery, there's one component that can strangle your engine's performance if it's not working correctly. Method 4. PCV system restoration. Your positive crankcase ventilation system, or PCV system, is something most people never think about. But when it's not working properly, it causes a cascade of problems. Here's what the PCV system does. As your engine runs, combustion gases blow past the piston rings into the crankcase. If these gases just stayed there, pressure would build up, forcing oil past seals and causing leaks. The PCV system vents these gases back into the intake to be burned. When the PCV valve gets stuck or the hoses get clogged, several things happen. Pressure builds up in the crankcase, causing oil leaks. Oil consumption increases, sludge forms inside the engine, and you get rough idle and poor performance because the engine is pulling in unmetered air through the PCV system. The PCV valve is usually a $10 part that takes 5 minutes to replace. On most GMC engines, it's located in the valve cover or in a hose connected to the valve cover. Pull out the old PCV valve and shake it. If it rattles, it's probably still working. If it doesn't rattle, it's stuck and needs replacement. But here's the thing, even if it rattles, if you got 60,000 miles or more on it, just replace it anyway. It's cheap insurance. While you're at it, inspect all the PCV hoses. Look for cracks, splits, or oil buildup. Replace any hoses that look questionable. They are inexpensive and easy to swap. A properly functioning PCV system keeps your engine clean inside, prevents oil leaks, and ensures smooth idle. It's one of the most overlooked maintenance items, yet it has a significant impact on engine performance. Now, let's talk about something that directly affects how efficiently your engine burns fuel. Method 5. Spark plug upgrade and gap check. Your spark plugs create the spark that ignites the air-fuel mixture in your cylinders. When spark plugs are worn, fouled, or improperly gapped, combustion becomes incomplete and inefficient. Here's what most people get wrong about spark plugs. They either wait way too long to replace them, or they replace them with cheap aftermarket plugs to save a few dollars. GMC engines, particularly the 5.3L and 6.2L V8S, are sensitive to spark plug quality. Using cheap plugs can cause misfires, rough idle, poor fuel economy, and even catalytic converter damage. Always use OEM spark plugs or premium equivalents like AC Delco or NGK. Yes, they cost more, but they're engineered specifically for your engine's compression ratio, combustion chamber design, and ignition system. Here's something most people don't know. Even new spark plugs can have incorrect gaps. The gap is the distance between the center electrode and the ground electrode. If the gap is too small, you get a weak spark. If it's too large, the ignition system struggles to create a spark at all. Check your owner's manual for the correct gap specification. Use a gap tool to verify each plug before installation. Adjust if necessary by carefully bending the ground electrode. When you install new plugs, hand tighten them first, then use a torque wrench to tighten them to the specified torque. Over-tightening can damage the threads in your cylinder head. Under-tightening can cause compression leaks. Fresh, properly gapped quality spark plugs will give you smooth, idle, crisp throttle response, better fuel economy, and more power. You'll feel the difference immediately. But spark plugs are only part of the ignition system. There's another component that, when it fails, causes problems that mimic a dozen other issues. Method 6. Ignition coil inspection and replacement. Modern GMC engines use coil-on-plug ignition systems. Each spark plug has its own ignition coil sitting directly on top of it. These coils generate the high voltage needed to create a spark. When an ignition coil starts to fail, it causes misfires. But here's the tricky part. The misfire might be intermittent. It might only happen under certain conditions, like when the engine is hot or under load. This makes it hard to diagnose. Symptoms of failing ignition coils include rough idle, hesitation during acceleration, reduced power, poor fuel economy, and check engine lights with misfire codes. Here's what you need to know. Ignition coils don't last forever. On GMC trucks, they typically start failing around 100,000 miles. And when one fails, the others are usually not far behind because they're all the same age and have experienced the same conditions. If you got a misfire code, don't just replace the spark plug. Check the ignition coil too. Better yet, if you're approaching 100,000 miles and you've never replaced the coils, consider replacing them all at once. Yes, it's more expensive up front, but it prevents the frustration of chasing intermittent misfires. Use quality coils. Acadia or Delphi are good choices. Cheap aftermarket coils often fail prematurely. Fresh ignition coils ensure strong, consistent spark at all RPMs and under all conditions. Your engine will run smoother, respond better, and produce more power. Now, let's shift to something that affects how your engine breathes. Method 7. Air filter upgrade. Your air filter is your engine's first line of defense against dirt, dust, and debris. A clogged air filter restricts airflow, which reduces power and hurts fuel economy. Most people know they should change their air filter regularly. What they don't know is that not all air filters are created equal. The paper air filters that come standard in your GMC are designed to be cheap and disposable. They work, but they're not optimized for maximum airflow or filtration efficiency. Consider upgrading to a high-flow air filter. Brands like K and N or AFE make reusable filters that flow more air while still providing excellent filtration. These filters use oiled cotton or synthetic media that captures particles more efficiently than paper while allowing more air to pass through. More airflow means your engine doesn't have to work as hard to pull in the air it needs. This translates to better throttle response, slightly more power, and improved fuel economy. The other advantage of these filters is that they are reusable. Instead of throwing them away every 12,000 miles, you clean and re-oil them. Over the life of your truck, this saves money and reduces waste. Installation is simple. There are direct replacements for your stock filter. Just drop it in the air filter housing, and you're done. You'll notice improved throttle response almost immediately. The engine sounds slightly different too, a bit more aggressive intake noise, which many people actually prefer. But even with perfect airflow, there's a fluid in your engine that, when it gets old, causes friction and robs you of power. Method 8. High-quality oil change with the right viscosity. Engine oil does more than just lubricate. It also cleans, cools, and protects your engine. When oil gets old or when you use the wrong viscosity, your engine suffers. Here's something most GMC owners don't realize. The oil viscosity recommended in your owner's manual might not be optimal for your specific driving conditions or climate. Most newer GMC trucks call for 0W20 or 5W30 oil. These thin oils are designed to improve fuel economy and meet emission standards. They work fine for normal driving in moderate climates. But if you tow heavy loads, drive in extreme heat, or have a high mileage engine, you might benefit from a slightly thicker oil. Moving from 5W30 to 5W40, for example, can provide better protection under high-stress conditions. The key is understanding what the numbers mean. The first number is the cold weather viscosity. The second number is the hot weather viscosity. A higher second number means the oil maintains its thickness better at high temperatures. For most GMC owners, sticking with the manufacturer's recommendation is fine. But if you're experiencing oil consumption, engine noise, or you're putting your engine under heavy stress, consider consulting with a knowledgeable mechanic about whether a different viscosity might be appropriate. Also, use quality oil. Synthetic oil provides better protection, especially at temperature extremes. Brands like Mobil 1, Pennzoil Platinum, or Valvoline Advanced are all excellent choices. Fresh, high-quality oil in the correct viscosity will make your engine run quieter, smoother, and more efficiently. You'll notice reduced engine noise and improved throttle response. Now, there's another fluid that most people completely ignore, but it has a direct impact on engine performance. Method 9. Cooling system flush and thermostat replacement. Your cooling system does more than prevent overheating. It also maintains optimal engine temperature for efficient combustion and performance. When coolant gets old, it becomes acidic and loses its ability to transfer heat effectively. This means your engine runs hotter than it should, even if it's not overheating. Higher operating temperatures reduce power, increase fuel consumption, and accelerate engine wear. Old coolant also causes corrosion in your cooling system. This corrosion can clog passages, damage the water pump, and cause leaks. Here's what you need to do. Drain the old coolant completely. Don't just drain the radiator, drain the engine block too. There are drain plugs on the block that most people don't know about. Flush the system with distilled water until it runs clear. Then, refill with fresh coolant mixed to the proper concentration. For most GMC trucks, that's Dex-Cool mixed 50/50ths with distilled water. While you've got the system drained, replace the thermostat. The thermostat controls when coolant flows through the radiator. When it sticks or fails, your engine either runs too hot or too cold. Either condition hurts performance. A new thermostat costs $15 to $20. Since you're already draining the coolant, the labor is minimal. It's cheap insurance against overheating and ensures your engine reaches optimal operating temperature quickly. Fresh coolant and a new thermostat will help your engine run at the correct temperature, which means better combustion efficiency, more power, and improved fuel economy. But there's one more fluid-related issue that can dramatically affect how your engine runs. Method 10. Fuel filter replacement. Your fuel filter removes contaminants from the fuel before it reaches your injectors. Over time, the filter becomes clogged with dirt, rust, and debris from your fuel tank. A clogged fuel filter restricts fuel flow. Your fuel pump has to work harder to push fuel through the restriction. Your injectors don't get adequate fuel supply. The result is poor performance, especially under acceleration or at highway speeds. Symptoms of a clogged fuel filter include hesitation during acceleration, loss of power under load, rough idle, and difficulty starting. Here's the problem. Many newer GMC trucks have the fuel filter integrated into the fuel pump assembly inside the tank. This makes replacement more complicated and expensive. But if you've got an older GMC with an external fuel filter, replacement is straightforward. The filter is usually located along the frame rail under the truck. You'll need to relieve fuel system pressure first. There's a procedure in your service manual for this. Then, it's just a matter of disconnecting the fuel lines, removing the old filter, and installing the new one. Make sure the arrow on the new filter points in the direction of fuel flow, toward the engine, not toward the tank. A fresh fuel filter ensures your injectors get adequate fuel supply at all times. You'll notice improved throttle response and better performance, especially during hard acceleration. And now, here's the method I promised you at the beginning, the one that costs less than $20 and makes an immediate difference. Method 11, intake manifold and valve cleaning. This is the big one. Over time, carbon deposits build up on your intake valves and inside your intake manifold. This is especially problematic on direct injection engines, where fuel doesn't wash over the intake valves. These carbon deposits restrict airflow into the cylinders. They also create hot spots that can cause pre-ignition and knock. The result is reduced power, poor fuel economy, rough idle, and hesitation. Professional intake cleaning services charge $150 to $300, but you can do a pretty effective job yourself for under $20. Here's how. Get a can of intake valve cleaner. CRC intake valve cleaner or seafoam spray are good options. With the engine running, slowly spray the cleaner into the intake through a vacuum line or directly into the throttle body. The cleaner will cause the engine to smoke heavily. This is normal. It's burning off the carbon deposits. Follow the directions on the can for how much to use and how long to let it soak. After the treatment, take your truck for a hard drive. Get on the highway and do some full throttle acceleration runs. This helps blow out the loosened carbon deposits. You can also use a fuel additive like Techron or BG44K in conjunction with this treatment for even better results. The difference is remarkable. Your engine will idle smoother, respond quicker, and feel more powerful throughout the RPM range. It's one of the most effective ways to restore lost performance. Now, here's the reality. All of these methods will make your engine run better, but they're only effective if your engine is properly maintained in the first place. You can't clean and optimize an engine that's been neglected for years and expect miracles. That's why I created a comprehensive guide on maintaining your GMC for maximum longevity. It covers the essential maintenance schedule that keeps your truck running reliably for 300,000 miles and beyond. From the right oil change intervals to the timing chain issues that destroy more GMC engines than anything else. Click on this video right here to learn the maintenance fundamentals that will keep your GMC in top condition. Because a well-maintained engine that's also properly cleaned and optimized, that's when you get performance that rivals a brand new truck. Look, your GMC engine is built to last. These trucks are known for reliability and longevity. But even the best engine needs proper care and occasional restoration to maintain peak performance. The methods I've covered today aren't complicated. They don't require special tools or advanced mechanical knowledge. Most of them you can do in your driveway on a Saturday afternoon. But the impact is significant. Smoother idle, better throttle response, improved fuel economy, more power. These are real noticeable improvements that you'll feel every time you drive. Don't accept sluggish performance as normal. Don't assume that rough idle is just part of owning a high-mileage truck. Your GMC can run like new, even with 150,000 miles on it. You just need to give it the attention it deserves. If this video helped you understand how to restore your engine's performance, hit that subscribe button. I post new GMC maintenance, troubleshooting, and optimization videos every week. Practical information that helps you get the most out of your truck. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.